Thanks for coming back. This is part 2 of my laundry room redo. If you haven't watched part 1 yet, go to my playlist. It's under home improvements. You see part 1 there. If you are back to see part 2, thanks for coming back. Please consider subscribing. I'm back on it again here today, and I got to put some blocks in the wall here to help me be able to attach some of my plumbing and the utility sink that we're putting in down here. Gonna get right to it. Let's do the title intro now. You're watching On the Mark with Mark. The utility sink is going to be somewhere along here. I've measured from the edge of my sump pit over, and both the washer and the dryer, they measure about 56 inches combined, and that brings it in approximately here. So the closest this could be is right here, could be over here. So I'm gonna build some, I'm gonna put some boards in across here so that when I go to attach this thing to the wall, I've got good solid places so that I don't end up with just one stud on there. I want to be able to screw in a lot of places. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to go across all 3 of these. That way it's open quite a ways to where I can put this when I come to my final decision as to where this is going to go. So I just need to probably get it centered on this vertically and put some blocks in here. When my supply lines come down from the ceiling, they're going to be right in this area here. And I want to be able to attach them to the wall right at the top here immediately so that they're nice and under control. I'm marking each one of these blocks that I put in here. I'm marking the center of them from the floor. This one's at 74 inches. This one down here is at 45 inches. And then after I get the drywall and everything on here, this won't be lost. I'll know because of photographs and videos how high this is. And then on the floor down there with my Sharpie, I've made a mark where every one of the studs is. So that will get me in the ballpark, and I'll be able to go back and look at pictures, and I'll know exactly where I can screw in to strap these supply lines to the wall. And I don't have to worry about trying to hit a stud or hit a stud with one of the straps and not the other, or try using drywall anchors. Drywall anchors just suck, they don't hold. So this is a great opportunity where I have to put some decent blocks behind the drywall, so I've got something decent to screw to. I'm trying to allow for some flexibility here by having a wide board there, and this is where there's going to be 2 supplies for the washing machine here, but then the supply is going to continue on down behind the washing machine, and then it's going to turn and head this direction and then terminate around here. So I made this little arrangement here. This will be somewhere under the utility sink, and then from there there'll be some flexible hoses that go up to the actual faucets. So I think that ought to handle it. Now there's also going to be a drain pipe going back here, and since that runs mostly horizontal, I only need to know where the studs are, and I've marked all of those on the floor. Now that will eventually wear off, but not before I get my drain pipe attached to the wall. So I'll be able to put some kind of a hanger on the 2x4s, and then the drain is going to come across here in this area, and then it's going to make a turn, and then right there is where my lift bucket is going to go. And then the discharge for the lift bucket, not quite sure how I'm going to do that yet, but it's going to come up this way, and then it's got to make its way over and dump into there. So maybe some blocks are in order over here. I'm going to have to take a look at this. I'm ready to put insulation in now. And believe it or not, there isn't one standard bay that I can just throw insulation in. This one is close, but it's a non-standard width. This one's standard width, just has one outlet down there. It's probably the easiest one. And then, of course, there's a wire, and then my blocks, and this has got the gas pipe in it, and a wire, and an outlet, and then this one is all disrupted by this, although this shorty here, these two shorties, and in fact the ones above it, those are probably the easiest ones. That is also not a standard 14.5 inches wide there. Oh, and it's got an outlet down there. So I'm gonna have a little bit of custom work going on here to put the insulation in, but that's what I'm doing next. Well, the insulation installation is coming along. This was a leftover roll I had from another project that I was working on out in the garage. So I got all of one bay done, most of two, and half of another one. I'll have to buy some more materials and continue on. Well, I made short work of that. Now we're ready for the drywall. In addition to these marks that I put on the floor for marking the stud locations, I've added a small board across the top here. And that is only there so that I have something to mark the top of the studs with. That way, after the wall is on here and the plastic is on and the studs are completely covered up, I'll be able to still find the studs, and I can snap a chalk line across the wall so that when I go to put my shelves up, I'll be able to get into these studs. I've wrapped the plastic up the side of the sill plate there to help keep it out of the water if that should happen to happen over here. Making a little progress here with the drywall. Got it cut around this, and we were able to squeeze in behind there. It was really tight. That's probably the biggest single sheet we'll have with hardly a cut. It's looking good so far, wouldn't you say?
Yes, I would say so. It's wonderful, beautiful. Craftsmanship is impeccable.
There we go. We got 2 holes in the right place. Now the next one's got 3 outlets in it. We'll see how we do. At first I thought this was a mistake that I ended up landing a stud right on our drain here. But by the stud being right in the center of this, I was able to cut the drywall with a half moon on this side, and then I had something to screw it to, and then a half moon on that side, and I had something to screw it to. So accidentally, it worked out to be a pretty good idea. Now with the new, let's see, it's fiberglass reinforced plastic, FRP. The FRP we're going to be putting in. Now I'm going to join it together horizontally. So I'm going to come in like this on both sides. So there's going to be a joint going across right here. Then I'll go down 4 feet, and then the cutoff that I have up there, I'll put in down here. So I'm going to end up with 2 seams going down here, but they're going to be at kind of unusual heights, not right here at the 4-foot level, which you typically see. So I don't know, maybe they'll be in places you don't usually look for it. I know the low one will hardly be seen at all, so that's kind of neat. And then with my shelf idea, yeah, it'll probably come down about to there. Might end up covering the seams pretty good. Also, I'm going to offset the seams this way too. Just to complicate things, I guess. I don't know. I've got this circle cutting fixture for my Dremel tool, which I forgot I even had. We'll see how this goes. Look at that. What a beauty cut.
Golf clap.
Well, we got this far off camera. It's done from here down to, it's about 16 inches from the floor. There's another panel that needs to get put in down there. What a lot of work. I mean, this thing, this spray mounted adhesive stuff here, this is some serious stuff right here. This is 3M Super 77 multi-purpose adhesive. And what it is you spray it on both surfaces and you let it get tacky, and then you put it together. And then there is no moving when you do that. Well, we still had to try to slide these things into these channels after we set it up there. And man, it was not easy. Let's see, it's about 10 o'clock now. We started proper at about 7 o'clock. So yeah, 3 hours to get this much on. Boy, if somebody ever called me up and said, hey, I'm going to be putting some of that stuff on, I need you to help me there, I would advise against it. There's another method for putting these on where they drill holes and then you nail these buttons in there, and they're just these little round caps that end up showing. And I thought they were kind of unsightly. Now I think they're kind of a good idea. But I got a nice clean surface there, and boy does it stick. I mean, it is on there. This line right here, that's a shadow from there's a rod up here for hanging clothes, and the light casts a shadow. That's all that is. Let's do a flyby. Now we let it set up for a little while and get tacky, and then we slap it on here. push it on. Looks like I grabbed the wrong piece. The grain is going this way, not this way. Well, it'll still work just as good. All right, on to the next one. Now, leaning in but not touching, we raise it up. There we go. Come on, you can go in there. Go in. Go in. Okay. And we're stuck. All right, that's it. Looks like it's just barely up into here, but that's enough. That's not going anywhere. So I'm gonna call that good enough. That's the last one, so boy am I glad that's finished. Good, good, good. There we go. That's where the water might weep out if it needs to. I've got the electrical put back in. I liked turning this outlet sideways so that the outlets themselves look what I call right side up. And this one actually, I put on upside down because of the way the cord is on the dryer. This way the cord will hang straight down. It's got like a 90-degree plug on it. This is where the washing machine will plug in, and I've turned that one sideways too. This is a GFI, just like the first one we looked at, and pigtailed onto that GFI is another outlet over here that I put in because this is where our cat's litter box goes, and she needs a night light right there so that she can find this if she happens to need to come down here at night. And I've got my trim plate around the gas valve there. I'm real happy with how that has turned out. Also, the plastic baseboard is in too, so if that gets wet, it's not going to be rotting either. So that's it for electrical. Now I'm going to route my ductwork because I think I'm going to mount my drain pipe on the same bracket that my dryer vent duct is going to be on. So I want to get that put in and see if I can run those together. Okay, here's my brackets I made. This is going to hang on the wall like this. This is going to step over the baseboard. There's going to be 2 screws here and here that screw it into the wall. And then 1 screw here that's going to screw in right there. That will capture the duct. That will hold it just like that. I might add a spacer up here. I have ran enough of the ductwork now that I can see what interference issues I might have for the plumbing. So the duct is coming up and it's just have it stopped right here. I am missing a few pieces still to be able to finish that, but otherwise the dryer is ducted and wired. If I had a discharge duct, I could run the dryer. So here's where I'm at with the plumbing. This is waste coming in, and then this is discharge here. So this is going to go climbing up the wall here. But what I was working on was getting to the rest of the duct, or the plumbing. And I've got this crazy stack over here, and that's pushing the lower pipe, the 1.5 inch pipe, away from the wall here. You can see I'm gonna need a spacer there so I can keep that nice and parallel. So this is where the washing machine is going to discharge the water. Now this 4-inch pipe here is going to get cut down to here, so there's enough room for that hose to reach. So that'll be going right into here. And then I've got, it's just a Y down there, and that's going to continue out this way. And catch the new utility sink. So there's plenty of room for the plumbing here. Working on the exhaust duct for the dryer, I had to come up with this combination of 2 adjustable elbows in order to be able to get from the outside of the foundation over to where my duct comes in. And I just put a piece of duct tape on there, the foil type, to lock in where I have this right now, because it took me quite a bit of fiddling to get it to this shape here, and then I sealed the 2 together. So let's put it up there. Coming straight down now. Now I just need to get a joining piece for my stack here, and I'm gonna have to come up with some kind of brackets to mount this to the wall again, like I did across the floor there. So a little more woodworking. This piece here, unfortunately, is too short to make it up there. that's pretty much all I have for duct work. Well, I've got another full piece, which I was hoping not to use, but at least I have it, so it'll be good. I got the duct for the dryer fully installed. Goes up the wall here. I had to use a double 90-degree fitting to get up through there and make the corner to get to the discharge outlet. Now, this little device right here, maybe you noticed, this is a way of saving energy. You can route the warm, moist air from the dryer back into your house. And what this little bucket is for is you put some water in here, and then as the air blows through here, any lint that should happen to come through with it is supposed to get trapped in this water, and then you change the water in that. It's got a toggle on it right here. So this says winter, so that's diverting it into here, which in some respects is not a bad idea because that's some moist air. So houses are pretty dry in the winter. And then in the summer, of course, you wouldn't want that extra heat, so then it's bypassed. I don't know if we're gonna use this or not. Honestly, I've had this thing for probably 20 years. I put it together like that to install at our old house, and I just never got around to installing it. One important thing though, if you have a gas dryer, you cannot use one of these because you'll be putting the carbon monoxide fumes right into your house, and that will kill you. So this is only if you have electrical, and there's my electrical, so we're good for now. Working on the drain now. The drain comes first because you can't change gravity. So here is my waste pipe, and I have propped it up with some short boards that I measured carefully, and based on their location, they're maintaining between an 1/8 inch and a 1/4 of an inch slope right here. Next, I'm gonna add these spacers here that are gonna go behind my J-hooks, and these will screw into the studs, and then my J-hooks will screw onto this. The reason I need a spacer is because of that 4-inch that's happening right there. So I'll make even spacers all the way down, and then my pipe will stay nice and parallel the whole way. There's plenty of room back here. I would have rather had this be a lot tighter, but the duct for the dryer is right there, so there's plenty of room for all of this. There is the spacer. There's another one. And you can see the third one down there. So this plumbing is dry fitted from my pump to the washing machine. This is as far as I've gotten this week, which is not too bad. We got a lot done. So I still need to do the dry fit on this utility sink here, and it's just a short run right there over to here. I have the minor plumbing already installed on here, so I have something to aim at, so that's good. Thanks for watching. This project's coming along nicely. We're entering into week 3. I will be finishing it before next Monday's video is released, and then I've got a product review coming up that I'm kind of excited about, so that'll be in a couple of weeks. So lots of things happening here. If you haven't subscribed, I would like it if you would. Please consider subscribing and like this video. If you're following along with me, it looks like this is turning into a 3-parter. Thanks. Good.